Yeah. So I have just given 3 sentences here. So can we just little bit and understand how many padas are in this sentence? Would anyone like to try?
Two padas.
Yes, Vidushi, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Mataji is saying.
Oh, okay. You can go.
Yeah, as you said, Mataji, there's 2 padas and 1 verb, gachati.
Yeah, so gachati also comes under pada. So pada is like any word, it's called the pada. So basically here Ganesha is 1 pada, Mandiram is 1 pada, gachati is 1 pada. So again, as I said, pada
just to clarify, a pada is basically a word.
Yeah.
Okay. So words in Sanskrita are called padas. And like Prabhuji said, padas can be of 2 types. So these, what are the 2 types? So 2 types, one is the noun, which has all these vibhakti endings, you know, Ramaha, Ramasya, Ramena, Ramanam. All these are the pada endings for a noun. The endings for a noun. Then when it is a verb, you have gachati, pathati. So ti endings. Pathanti, patatu. So all these, so whether it's a noun or a verb, they are all called padas. In Sanskrit, just for your information, the nouns are called sup-anta, subanta, sup-anta. The sound is taken as sup. Okay, so whether it's masculine will have aha, Ramaha, Krishnaha. Sita, that is also sup. Patram, that is also sup. Okay, so nouns are called sup, anta, subanta. Anta means end. They have the ending of this sup. It's just a code name for the ending. Okay. Similarly, verbs are called tinganta. Ting, ti, gachati, pathati. So verbs are tingantas, subantas and tingantas. So this is the technical term for nouns and verbs. So if anybody tells you, oh, this is a subanta or this is a tinganta, you know what they are talking about. So what is a word for a noun?
Pata.
Subanta. The term for a noun is subanta. The term for a verb is tinganta. And the word itself is pada.
Okay.
Makes sense? So, what is a pada?
Any word.
Any word. Pada means any word. Any word is a pada. In English, we say word. In Sanskrit, we say pada.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, Prabhuji, continue.
Thank you, Mataji. So yeah, so now here, so Ganesha is 1 word, Mandiram is 1 word, and Gachati is 1 word. So pada. So similarly here, how many padas do we have? Sita Vanam Gachati. Sita is going to the forest.
3 padas.
Yeah, it's again 3. One Sita, which is a noun form. Vanam, again a noun form. Gachati is a verb form. Similarly here, again we have 3. Lakshmi, Vishnum Pashyati. So again, Lakshmi is a noun form. Vishnu is a noun form. Pashyati is a verb. So when different padas, when they are grouped together, it is known as a vākya. Similarly, like how we say, like I am eating an apple. So I is a word, am is a word, like apple is a word. When they are combined together, it forms a sentence. So similarly, in Sanskrit, when all the padas join together, they form vakyas. So multiple padas together are called vakyas.
There is one clarification there. A vākya must have a meaning, otherwise it doesn't it's not a vākya. So you can't have random padas sitting in a, sitting together, and you can't call that a vākya. Yeah. So a vākya needs to make sense.
Yeah. So now we have seen what is a vākya. It means it should have multiple padas in it, which makes a meaning. So now what is a pada? So we understood what is a vākya. Vākya means it has many words grouped together. So now what is a pada? For example, so let us take the English word apple, So apple is a word, but apple has many letters in it. A, P, P, L, E, So these 5 letters are grouped together meaningfully to form a word called apple. So similarly in Sanskrit, the pada is a term where multiple varnas combine together to form a meaningful word. For example, if we take the word Ramaha, which is again a noun form, if we split Ramaha, so it will be Ir plus A, which becomes Ra, plus Im plus A, which becomes Ma, plus Visargaha. So that becomes Ramaha. So splitting the word to form varnas, by combining all the varnas, we get the pada. For example, here for the word palam.
Prabhuji, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
You have Ramaha.
Yeah.
So again, just to clarify, Ramaha. So when we say varna, you remember your varnamala alphabets.
Yeah.
So that is what varna. Varna means those alphabets. Okay. Now, Prabhuji, I have a question for you. You have said Ramaha is equal to R plus A. Is it R or
No, no,
R? Thank you.
Typing mistake, sorry. For example, if we take the word palam, if we break it, so it is going to be like P plus A, yogaha il, yogaha A, and yogaha im. So this is grouped together as palam. So breaking the sounds, for example, this is ip plus A becomes pa, il plus A becomes la, and im remains. So these varnas together, they make a word called palam. So similarly, can we try it for the next word? What would be the varnas for the next word? Khadati.
Ka. KH. Yes.
Ik plus A. Ik plus A.
Yeah.
Plus
Da.
da. D.
It will be id.
D.
So,
Okay.
so for id to become the, we'll add one more a. So id plus a becomes the. Ik plus a becomes ka. So next for ti, what would be the varnas for ti?
Ta and E.
Yeah. E. So here it becomes kha, the, ti. So these together becomes kha, the, ti. So similarly,
now just sorry again, interrupting again. Concept wise, when it comes to consonants, so here what you see is consonants and vowels, swaraha and vyanjanaha. If you go back to our lesson 1, a, e, those were our swaraha, vowels, right? And consonants, k, kh, g, gh, ng. Now, at that time, we did not say this, but actually a consonant is not k. It is, but you can't say it without adding the vowel. Okay. So that is why it is called a vyanjana. Vyanjana means something that is mixed. So a consonant in Sanskrit cannot stand on its own. It needs the support of the vowel. Without the vowel, how will you say? That's all. Even that is actually having an sound at the end. Otherwise, it won't come out. So the or the or the or the ru, all of it, a, I, o, all of it, all the vowels are what actually support a consonant. Without the vowel, the consonant cannot exist. It cannot be spoken. That is why you have the consonant, the pure consonant, ph, plus a, p, plus a, l, k, plus a, kha, d, plus a, d, plus e, t. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yes,
So can we try this for the next word? Charati.
I think Vidushi had a question. You're muted.
Sorry, it might just be me, but there's a sound behind. I don't know where that sound's coming from, but it's just a
Motor running.
motor running. Yes. Oh, okay. Your motor's running. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. So can we try for the next three words? Charati. So what would be the varnas for charati?
Cha, a, ra, ra plus a, and t. But ta plus a, e, t.
Plus e, charati. Similarly for varunaha.
Ra plus u, na plus a, and visar.
Yes. Okay. Similarly for Sita, it would be this yogaha e, yogaha it, yogaha a. This is Sita. So now, like, you have basic understanding what is a pada and what is a vākya. Pada means it's a word made up of multiple letters. It's as simple as that. And sentence means it's made up of multiple words together. So vākya has multiple padas in it, and padas have multiple varnas in it. So all these needs to be meaningful to actually be called a vākya or a pada. Similarly, as Mataji explained, I mean, is there any question in that, in what is pada and vākya? Okay, so like as Mataji explained, so there are two types of pada. So one is called subanta, one is called tinganta. So it's very simple. It's nothing. Subanta is nothing but the noun forms. You know, any noun form like Ramaha, Krishnaha, Sita, Utpitika, whatever it is, all the noun forms are known as subanta. And we all know those are declined in the form of vibhaktis. You know, Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha, so Ramam, Ramena, Ramaya, Ramat. So those are all called the subanta or the noun ending forms. The other form is called the tinganta. So that is the verb form. Kadati, gachati, patati, patati, you know, those are all called the verb forms. So that's what subantas are called noun forms. The example is Ramaha, Vrikshaha, tree, Phalam, fruit, you know, Utpitika. And the verbs are like Kadati, Gachati, Patati, Pashyati, you know, these are all verb forms, the action forms. Whereas now these are the noun forms. So when we speak about noun forms, the root, you know, every word in Sanskrit will have a root form for it. So the root form for a noun is called a pratipadikam. For example, here, let us take Krishnasya. So in which vibhakti is this?
Shashti.
Yeah, it is in Shashti Vibhakti. So the Pratipadikam for this would be Krishna. That would be the Pratipadikam, the root word for the entire form. Similarly, for Ganeshasya, the Pratipadikam would be Ganesha. For Sitayaha, it's again in Shashti Vibhakti, it would be Sita. And for Lakshmiyaha, the Pratipadikam would be Lakshmi. So these are called the Pratipadikam. So as given here. Krishna, the Pratipadikam is Krishna. Lakshmiyaha, the Pratipadikam is Lakshmi. Okay. So now I explained like the root form of a noun is called Pratipadikam, right? So similarly, the root form for a verb is called Dhatu. It's the one and the same. But when it is in the noun form, it's a Pratipadikam. When it is in the verb form, it is Dhatu. For example, here, Patati, the root form of the word Patati is Pat. So when Pat declines, it becomes Patati or Patatu. And similarly for Gachati, the Dhatu is Gam Dhatu. So when Gam declines, it becomes Gachati. And the root form for the word Vadati is Vad. So these are called the root of the verb, which is called Dhatu, and the root of the nouns are called Pratipadikam. Okay. So these are just the basics of the sentence formations. Is Mataji there? Just a minute. Mataji, would you like to add anything to Pratipadikam and Dhatus to make it more simpler? You are muted.
Thank you. It's just that it's easy to confuse Pratipadikam and Dhatu. They basically, when we say root, the Gachagam, etc. are the roots. And the Pratipadikam are also derived from those roots in some way. But we don't have to go there. What we need to remember is a Dhatu is the absolute basic root form. Okay. And from that you have the verbs. The lowest form that a noun can take is called Pratipadika, which means we say, remember we said Akaranta Pullinga Shabda. What does that mean?
Words that end in A.
Yes. And it's a Pullinga, masculine.
Masculine.
Right? So for example, Rama. So that Akaranta Pullinga Shabda that we talk about, that is your Pratipadika. Because it is without the Rama or the Ramasya or the Rame or whatever. So that when we say Ikaranta Pullinga Shabda, Harihi, Hari. So Harihi is Prathama Vibhakti, Ekavachana. Hari is the word, Pratipadika. Make sense? Any questions? Okay, so just to recap, what is the term for a sentence? Yes, Vidushi?
Vākya.
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 Vākya. Huh? Why Vākya? Vāk means speech. Huh? Something that can be spoken in order to make sense is a Vākya. Vākya. What are the individual words in a Vākya called?
Pada.
Pada. Excellent. The individual words in a Vākya are called Pada. And what are the individual sounds in that Pada called? The alphabets or
varṇa.
varna. Those are called varnas. Excellent. Varnas. And now your varnas are made up of two types of varnas. What are they?
Swara. So you vowels
Vyan. Yes.
and vyan.
And vyanjana.
Vyanjana.
Excellent. Right? Swara and vyanjana. Vowels and consonants. Now, which can stand alone?
Swara can stand alone. Vyanjana
Swaras are very good. Swaras can stand alone. Those are the strong guys, okay? The swaras are the strong guys. They support the vyanjana. Okay, excellent. Now, pada, the word pada. Padas are of two types. What are the two types of padas? What types? Two types of words that we normally have.
Nouns and verbs.
Nouns and verbs. Nouns and verbs. That's, you can remember it like that, no problem. Nouns and verbs. So karma, they are called kartripada and kriyapada. If you can't remember subanta and tinganta. So kartri means what? One who is doing. Karta. Kartri. So kartripada and karma pada. Karma means what? Oh, the task. So these are the two padas. Okay, so the nouns and the verbs. Excellent. Now you got it absolutely. So everything, all done. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Should we start Samāsa today, Mataji? The introduction?
Yeah, we can do just the introduction, and the next time we can again do a recap so that, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the reason we did all this today is because Samāsa tends to get a little, you know, squirrely. It tends to get into it in detail, and then it wants to, you know, it wants you to break everything up and look at everything and then make your decision. And only then you can actually have a Samāsa. And then if you want to break that Samāsa, that makes it even more complicated if you don't know all this. So now that we know all this, it's going to be cakewalk. You wish.
Yeah,
No,
Samāsa.
it is actually quite easy. Because
that's what I heard.
it's the thing is with Sanskrit is very easy only because it has so many rules. It is very difficult when you have a memory like me and can't remember any rules. But you guys are all just so good. You remember everything so nicely. So go ahead, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So we'll start with the topic Samāsa. So Samāsa is nothing, to just put it easily, Samāsa is a compound word. That's it. Samāsa means compound word. So it seems looks very simple, but yeah, Samāsa means compound word. So it means two or more words which are joined together is called a Samāsa. Okay. For example, I'll just give an example without going into the details. Sitayaha patihi. It means Sitayaha is in Shashti Vibhakti. Patihi is in Pratama Vibhakti. So Sitayaha patihi means
Sita's husband.
Yeah, Sita's husband. So these are two different words. So Sita's one word and husband is a word. So Sitayaha patihi, when they are combined together in Samāsa, it becomes Sita patihi. Okay. So for example, we'll take, in the song itself, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, when it becomes Patita Pavana Sita Ram. So how Sita Ram is formed is, it is Sitayaha Ramaha. So Sita's Ram. So when it becomes a Samāsa, it becomes Sita Ram. So Sitayaha Patihi, when it combines together to form a Samāsa, it is a Sita Patihi. So similarly, there can be multiple words which can be formed together to form one Samāsa, but it will have multiple words in it. So to add,
It's very interesting that you said that song, Raghupati Raghava Rajaram. Patita Pavana Sitaram.
everything
Patita
is
Pavana Sitaram.
yeah.
So, can anybody tell me which are the other samasas in this statement?
This just came to me suddenly. I just
Very good, actually. Yeah.
Raghupati,
Very good, Raghupati.
Rajaram,
Rajaram.
Is Patita Pavan also Samāsa?
Yes, Patita Pavana. Very good. See,
Sitaram.
almost all the words except Raghava.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except Raghava.
Yeah.
Ragoha Kulye. Ragoha Patyam Puman Raghava. So other than that, everything is a samas here. Raghupati. Raghu Kulasya Pati. Ragoho Kulasya Pati. So he's the leader in the whole Raghu clan. Raghupati. Raghava, Raja Ram. King Ram. Patita Pavana. Patita, those who are fallen, downtrodden. Patita Pavana. He purifies them all. Patita Pavana. Sitaram. Nice example, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And also to just make it even more clear. So do you know what is the last verse in Bhagavad Gita that Sanjaya finishes with? It starts with Yatra.
Yatra.
Yogeshwara.
Yatra
Yatra
Yogeshwara
Yogeshwara
Krishna.
Krishna. So how is that Yogeshwara formed? So yoga is a masculine word. So when it's in Shashti Vibhakti, Yogasya Ishwaraha. So he is the Ishwar, the Lord of all the yogas. So Yogasya Ishwaraha, two separate words. When it is combined together in a samas, it becomes Yogeshwaraha. Yeah, it becomes Yogeshwaraha because it has a sandhi in it, like Guna sandhi, but even then, Yogasya plus Ishwaraha becomes Yogeshwaraha. So this is samas on a general outline to understand. This is what happens in samas. Similarly, where there are three words, all the three words combine to form one samas, which gives a meaning. Is that clear? Is there any question on what is samas? Okay, so now I'll share the screen so that we'll just go into the basics of samas. Let me know if the letters are visible. Big enough. Is it clearly visible, the words?
Little bit.
A little bit more if you can. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So, introduction to samas. So, would anyone like to read this sentence just for practice?
Dvayoha bahunam padanam ekibhavanam samasaha ityuchyate etadeva smaranam samasaha iti vakyena udyate.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful. So,
the first word is dvayoho. Dvayoha na. Dvayoho. So the sound, it will change according to what is the vowel before it. So if it is Ramaha, okay. If it is Hari, hi, Hari, hi. Guru, guruhu. Dvayo, Dvayoho.
Hmm.
Gau, gauhu, gau, gau. It won't be gau how, it'll be gauhu,
Go.
gauhu. Okay. Continue, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So to just put it simple, like it's same what I explained. Samasa is when two or more words come together to form a single word. So for example, as I gave Sitayaha Patihi, that these two words combine to form a single word called Sita Patihi, husband of goddess Sita. This is Samasa. So what we'll do is, just to get a understanding, we'll just look into 3 or 4 examples of how the Samasa is done. Then we'll go into different aspects of Samasa, different components or rules for Samasa, etc. So example, would anyone like to read this sentence?
Ramaha cha Lakshmanaha cha
Hmm.
Vanam gacchataha.
Yeah. So what is the meaning of this sentence?
Rama and Lakshmana went to the forest.
Yeah, are going to the forest. Yeah. So there are 2 people. So Ramaha, Lakshmanaha cha Vanam gacchataha. So here, how many padas are there in this sentence?
4.
5. 1, 2, 3. Ramaha 1, cha 2, Lakshmanaha. Oh, I'm sorry, I just confused.
4, 5, 6 then.
Yeah, it is 6 actually. Yeah. So there are 6. So what happens is this Ramaha and Lakshmanaha to form a samas will become one word. So that when it becomes a samas, Ramaha Yogaha Lakshmanaha become Rama Lakshmanau. So Rama Lakshmanau, when we break up, it becomes Ramaha and Lakshmanaha. Since they are 2 in number, it becomes Au. It takes the form of dual. Rama Lakshmanau Vanam Gacchataha. We'll see this. This might be more easier. So Kalidasena Virachitam Kavyam Sarvaihi Pataniyam. So it means everyone must read the poem or the work written by Kalidasa. So Kalidasena.
Ask them to translate it.
Huh?
Ask them to translate.
Oh, no, I thought still we are not done Pataniyam. So I thought
That is all right, but they can go up to, and then they can guess the last one. What is Kalidasena? Which vibhakti?
Ramena.
3.
Very good. What does it mean?
By Kalidasa.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Kalidasena virachitam. Virachitam. Rachana. Rachana means, very good. Written. Composed. Virachitam. Kavyam. Kavyam. Poem.
Poetry.
Bahu samichinam. Sarvaihi. Sarvaihi.
All of it.
Sarvaihi. Which vibhakti? Sarvaihi. Ramaihi.
Two 2.3.
2.3.
Tritiya
Daddy.
Bahuvachanam. It is Tritiya Bahuvachanam.
So, Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha, Ramam, Ramau, Raman, Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramaihi, Sarve, Sarvabhyam, Sarvaihi. Okay, so Tritiya Bahuvachanam.
3.3.
3.3. Okay, 3.3. So 3.3 means what is that? Sarva means everyone. So Tritiya 3.3 would become?
By everyone?
Brilliant. So the poem composed by Kalidasa, Pathaniyam, is that form which is must be. Pathaniyam, Smaraniyam, Kartavyam. So that kind of, so it means must be read, must be studied by everyone. Make sense? Excellent. Now, Prabhuji can give you the Samāsa.
So here, if we look, as I said, Samāsa means two words should combine together. So here, the two words are Kalidasena Virachitam. So one word is Kalidasena and the next word is Virachitam. So similar to how Sitayaha Patihi, we removed the Yaha and we kept only Sita. And in Patihi, we removed the He and we kept only Pati, Sita Pati. Similarly, in Kalidasena, we'll remove this Vibhakti form. So it will be Kalidasa and Virachitam. So Virachitam is as it is. So it will be Kalidasa Virachitam Kavyam. So this is the split form of the same words. When it is in Samāsa or the compound words, it is going to be Kalidasa Virachitam.
Now, how it becomes Kalidasa Virachitam and so on, we'll look at it later. Okay. So at this stage, just learn to recognize a Samāsa. Learn to recognize that there is a word which is actually made up of more than one words. Okay. And remember, when we said word or pada, we said that it must have some meaning. It can't be just a nonsensical word. Right? So, Kalidasa Virachitam is equal to Kalidasena Virachitam. It is made up of these two totally sensible words. Kalidasena, by Kalidasa. Virachitam, created or composed. So, it Kalidasa Virachitam. Okay. So just for now, we'll just see that as the example. This is one example. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So next one, Veeraha Purushaha Desha Rakshanaya Yudhyante. So would anyone like to try the meaning of this sentence?
So I think so strong or strong man purusha strong men purushaha go for the sake of protecting the kingdom fight.
So how would you say it in English?
Strong men fight for the sake of protecting the country. Oh.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Fight for the protection of the country. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
Again here, Veeraha Purushaha. This is again the qualifying. This is qualifying the Purushaha. So this is also in Bahuvachanam. So Veeraha Purushaha, brave people. So when Veeraha and Purushaha combine together to form a Samāsa, it becomes Veera Purushaha. Yeah. So Veera Purushaha, when you break it up, it will become Veeraha Purushaha. Yeah. Mataji, and I think Desha Rakshanaya is also Samāsa, right? Deshasya Rakshanaya.
Yes.
Yeah. So here Desha Rakshanaya, it again, if you break it up, it will become Deshasya Rakshanaya, for the purpose of protecting the country. Of the country. So it's in possessive. So Deshasya Rakshanaya. So similarly here Veeraha Purushaha, it becomes Veera Purushaha. Here Kalidasena Virachitam, when it combines together, Kalidasa Virachitam. Similarly, Ramaha cha Lakshmanaha cha, it will become Rama Lakshmanau. When there are two more names, Ramaha cha, Lakshmanaha cha, Bharataha cha, and Shatrugnaha cha, it becomes Rama Lakshmana Bharata Shatrugna. Shatrugnaha. Yeah, because it is again 4 people. So this is the basis of Samāsa. technique. Mataji, do we need to do this today, or we'll just
No,
practice?
I think we'll just stop here. And then we'll look at more about Samās next time.
Because
So
next
maybe
week-
Prabhuji, what you can do is, take this little bit as well, add it to that, and just say example of a Samās.
Yeah.
And that can be today's notes.
Because I thought all this will again, it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the font here. I think you need to change the earlier one, Prabhuji, because there, because of the Times New Roman, the serifs at the bottom, the dots tend to.
What form do you use? Balaram?
No, I use Balaram is again, it's a serif
Oh,
font.
is it? Okay. I use
Yeah.
Balaram. I thought that is.
I just use Calibri.
Okay. Yeah.
And because it's a sans serif, then you don't have those little legs at the bottom. Then the dots underneath are very clearly visible then.
Okay. Yeah. I'll change it and send it. Okay. Any doubts or anything to be clarified?
Any questions, anybody? Everybody understood everything. What does that mean? Prabhuji is a great teacher.
No, nothing much. You are teaching it very easily, actually. I think I'm complicating it.
He's a good teacher.
Yes.
I don't know whether I am a good student. Because I know everything now. Another half an hour, I don't remember anything. I am very sorry that.
That's
agree.
join the club,
No,
the gray hair club.
In the class, I remember everything, and then after, I'm like, oh, what's the homework? What do
Yeah.
I know?
Practice.
When I first studied the letter which was issued, I read it as instead of Samāsa, I wrote Samāsa.
By the way, it is not Samāsa, okay? It is Samāsa.
Samāsa.
Okay, and that is another thing. We have to learn to pronounce our us to be very short,
Yeah.
and the as to be long. Okay, so it's vākya, not vākya. Pada na pada.
Okay.
Samāsa. Samāsanam. Samāsaha.
Yeah.
Samasanam. Samāsaha.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll meet again next week. In the meantime, for your homework, just see if you can spot compound words from Bhagavad Gita. Just pick up your first chapter and see if you can spot any. Yeah. And just so give it your best try. And then we'll figure out whether they are really Samās or whether they are something else. Yeah. So that way we can also figure out whether we have understood everything. Okay. All right.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mataji.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'll just give you a call now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Mataji, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.